So we've been enjoying our Ego mini bike, maybe a little too much. The problem was that we started to notice that our throttle initially started to move forward. Okay, we twist back to go forward, to accelerate, but the handle itself was moving forward at some point. It would go full circle, spin around on here, and we get no throttle at all. So in an attempt to correct that, we pulled it apart. In the meantime, when we did that, there was a whole bunch of parts inside that had been broken. We contacted Ego, let them know what was going on, and what they did was they shipped us out a replacement throttle and harness. We're going to attempt to trace this wire back to where it goes in here and reinstall our throttle. This cable runs into where the battery box is. Now, it would be really ideal if we didn't need to pull this all apart. We're seeing a little boot that goes around the first harness, but can we get both harnesses without actually going all the way into that battery box? We're going to start by disassembling to maybe get this front shroud off. I'm going to pop open our battery compartment. You can see we have some screws here. It looks like we're going to need a number 2 Phillips to remove these fasteners. And I'm trying to just remove as little as possible to make this happen. So there's actually 2 screws . And there's one more screw, it seems, under here. You'll probably pull the seat off for better access. Perfectly fine. Easy peasy. Might as well take this off. I'm gonna pull these 2 off. The old elusive 10mm. So you got to kind of separate these pieces from one another. Okay, so it looks as though this piece pops off, and then there's screws under there. It's just a clip-in cover. That's what was holding it. So we're going to undo this screw. See, it has to pop up. And then we got to go around our wiring harness, and then that pops off. So at this point, we have a bag. This is a Velcro bag. It will Velcro shut, but there's also a wire tie here. I happen to have a wire tie around that size, so I'm going to snip this open. So I'm going to make a little space in here. I'm going to snip that zip tie. We'll pull it out, and we'll replace that. Now, we can undo our little straps here, and we're left with connection here and a connection here. I will tell you, it's pretty doggone tight, but I really don't want to have to disassemble any further, so we're going to stick with that. We're also going to want to undo these fasteners. They're just a standard number 2 as well. Now ours has been apart already, so what we're going to do is we're going to undo this shielding. We're going to attempt to put it back on later on. You want to push down on that clip and pull out on that connector. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. Push down on this clip, pull out our connector. We want to loosen this screen. Looks like you're going to want to take the front headlight assembly off. Just to make enough room to pass our connectors through. So what we're going to want to do is make sure we're situating our cables through this slot up here that will sit behind the headlight. I figured I might as well wrap these. Okay. I want to make my connections. Obviously just do that in reverse. I'm going to plug the first one in until we hear a click. Main one in. Until we hear a click. We're going to shove them back in there. Before we seal up this bag, we're going to get our headlight remounted. Matter of fact, what we could do is let's remount our screen first. Thread them in. Finger with our fingers first. This way we make sure we're not cross-threading anything. Snug it up with our impact. Same thing with our light. We get all 4 started. And remember, it is a plastic housing. Don't over tighten or over torque. We just want to kind of Velcro the bag shut. Once you have the other end of your zip tie, you're going to feed it through here. Shove that back in there as best as possible. Okay, let's restart the reassembly process. This should be fun. So I'm going to pop this baby on first. Let's drop this down. All right, so we want to make sure these are snapped underneath the matching molding. So we're just going to clip these all back together. So that goes there. And then we're going to feed it in and just make sure that they're underneath. See how that's snapped in? Snug. We want to make sure our wires are tied back up again. You're probably saying to yourself, like, that's not where that goes. You're probably right, but, you know, I don't have the luxury of watching in post. I'm doing this in real time. My memory is of an old man's memory, so I don't know exactly where these were. But this is where we're going to put them back. You'll see they're not interfering with anything, so we're all good there. Okay, so we're tightened up there. We do have a little crack here, so we're not going to go too crazy on the tightness. All right, this is back together. So you can see that it clips up into this panel here. Put our skid plate on. Snug up these bottoms. Okay, now that they're snugged up, we're going to get these front bolts in. So they're nice and snug, like a snuggie. We got to put our center cap back on. And quite frankly, at this point, we could go for a ride if we really want to. But we're going to finish it off. It wouldn't be right if we didn't put all the beauty back together. Okay. We're going to pop these in. Oh, forgot. We got one under here, under the seat. I think this is going to be one of them instances where we have a couple of spare parts. Just want to snug these things up. You don't want to over tight. Hand tight. I'm just going to torque that down a hair. All right, now reverse hors d'oeuvre. I'll pop this up a hair. Start popping our screws in. We're missing a clip from the underside of this panel right here. So that makes for this one screw. There's 4 screws there. I just don't know where they go. I just don't know where they go. So go back and watch the video and let me know where I messed up. I know, you know, you love to do it, so. I hope this video helped some of you that have a problem with your throttle, and how to replace it. You know, I know this is not the perfect tutorial, but it's perfect because we did it together. We did it together. And if you like doing it together, then smash the like button. It's free for you to do. It doesn't cost you a dime. Plus, you'll get 7 years of good luck. See you all in the next one.